We're going to need a lot of ropes and a lot of trees, I think, coming up.
And
Okay, there we go. So this is the father of a Pakistani gang rape. He doesn't see what his son has done as rape. He blames the 13-year-old victim, and this is how these people think. So,
and obviously she wasn't a virgin or new to sex.
So you don't see it as rape?
Well,
so he said she wasn't new to sex.
I don't.
And she's 13. She's 13 years old.
Well, yes, obviously that's some responsibility lies for it. But as far as grooming is concerned, I think that the judge has gone over the board, the jury has gone over the board, the police has gone over the board, just because these lads are Asian.
So he's blaming the fact that they're South Asian, that's why they're going over the board. When, for what, since the 1997 at minimum, they've been covering it up because of the fact that you guys are South Asian. So now the police are arresting you or putting you in jail because you're South Asian. Make it make sense. This bitch here, this is the one. She is going to get the shortest rope and the tallest tree. This is a counselor for reform. And she said, this is where, remember when I said at the beginning of the stream, county lines? She said county lines are phone lines, not border demarcations. So because in her mind, the use of county lines in that report is incorrect. Because they are phone lines. I don't know about you, but here in Canada, and I'm pretty sure in the US as well, counties are areas, right? It's certain counties, you know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck she's talking about with phone lines. But even if that's true, that's her justification for saying that the report is bullshit and all these victims are lying. She says you can't traffic people over county lines. Inquiry report is junk. So yes, she is, as you suspected, definitely one of the little hat people. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that she says this kind of stuff. But like I said, we have a very special tree and rope for her.
Yeah, rape gang inquiry report is out. And I'm going to try not to laugh because it feels mean.
How fucking sick is that? I'm going to try not to laugh. Just because nobody would touch you with a fucking 10-foot pole doesn't mean that these girls weren't trafficked, okay? Just because degeneracy doesn't mean everybody does.
I haven't read the whole thing. It's 219 pages. It's only just come out a couple of hours ago.
So you haven't read the whole thing, but yet it's fake. You haven't read the whole report, but yet you're calling these people fake and liars.
Okay, so this time last year, I went to Alistair Harrison and I explained to him that in order for the report to stand up to scrutiny when it was released, it needed a proper methodology and it needed a proper, what do they call it? Terms of reference, okay?
So she's nitpicking at little things, right? And this report was actually reviewed by 3 different lawyers. It's not just some blog post somebody put together. It was an actual inquiry. People actually went to the inquiry, testified before the inquiry. There were lawyers involved in, making sure that this was above board and all this stuff. So her retarded logic about nitpicking because it didn't have a table of contents or whatever the fuck she's saying, a glossary, whatever she's complaining about, is meaningless. It doesn't mean shit. And again, you're just as sick as these people who covered it up and the people who did it.
And that he needed somebody to create that, preferably with somebody with expertise. Although I said, I have some expertise being a journalist and having written reports. I was happy to do that kind of work. But ideally, it needed to be somebody who actually had proper grounding in things like statistical analysis and research methods.
What the fuck does statistics matter when somebody was raped? It doesn't matter, okay? All that matters is that people were victimized by men who should never have been in England in the first place. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter about your fucking statistical analysis and your goddamn fucking degree. None of that shit matters.
All that kind of stuff, right? So, so I actually wasn't going to do it myself. I was going to find people who do know how to do that thing, but I was going to at least steer it because I know what's kind of meant to, be there. Obviously, none of that got done because Alistair Harrison said to me, "We're not going to pay you." And I said, "Okay, but you still need someone to do all this stuff or you'll just get ripped apart." And he said, "Don't worry, we've got a lawyer on it who's going to write it for free." Now, it turns out that they did not have a lawyer on it to write.
So it sounds like this bitch is just butthurt that she wasn't paid to subvert the fucking report in a way that would, make her pets look like they're not as bad. That's what it sounds like to me.
For free. They had Josh Firm, who's from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, not a lawyer, and Charlie Downs and Harrison Pitt, who I believe are also not lawyers.
Guess what, bitch? Neither are you. You're a journalist. That's it. You're not a lawyer either.